Welcome to Breaking Bulletin, where we bring you the latest updates on global events, news, and issues that affect you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay informed on the most pressing topics around the world. A new report released in March 2025 by a government accountability watchdog reveals that China funneled a staggering $176.6 million into the U.S. education system in 2024 alone. This investment in U.S. universities raises serious concerns about foreign influence, potential espionage, and the risks of intellectual property theft. While the amount might seem insignificant when compared to the multi-billion-dollar educational budgets in the U.S., the trend itself is worrying. In fact, this financial flow is part of a broader pattern of foreign governments increasing their influence in the U.S. education system. Top U.S. universities, including the University of Pennsylvania, have long accepted foreign funding, including from governments like China. In 2024, China was one of the top foreign donors, contributing $176.6 million to U.S. educational institutions. This isn't the first time that foreign funding has raised red flags. Over the past few decades, a significant amount of money has come from countries that are considered long-standing adversaries of the U.S., such as Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. However, China's increasing role in funding U.S. universities is particularly concerning given the geopolitical tensions between the two nations. This report follows a letter sent by the Select House Committee on the Chinese Communist Party (CCP) to 6 of America's top universities, urging them to provide detailed information about Chinese nationals enrolled in their STEM programs. The committee is concerned about the potential risk of espionage and intellectual property theft, particularly in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM, which are vital for U.S. national security. The University of Pennsylvania, one of the country's prestigious institutions, has been a major recipient of Chinese funds. According to the APT report, UPenn received $130 million over the last 5 years, with a significant portion of this funding originating from China. This raised questions about the university's independence and the extent to which foreign funds could influence research and academic decisions. While UPenn and other universities may argue that foreign funding is essential for academic development and global collaboration, the watchdog highlights the dangers posed by such contributions. These concerns stem from the increasing number of cases where foreign investments led to illegal U.S.-China collaborations that have involved Chinese economic and intellectual espionage. The rise of foreign funding has been accompanied by a troubling trend of arrests among U.S.-based researchers engaged in illegal collaborations with foreign entities. One high-profile example is Dr. Charles Lieber, a former professor at Harvard University who was convicted in 2024 lying to federal authorities about his affiliation with China's Thousand Talents program. This program, run by the Chinese government, is designed to recruit foreign experts in science and technology to further China's economic and technological goals, particularly in fields related to national security. Dr. Lieber's case highlights the vulnerabilities posed by foreign funding, especially when foreign governments use academic partnerships to advance their geopolitical agendas. Lieber's research at Harvard was funded by the U.S. National Institutes of Health and the Department of Defense, but he secretly received payments from China and worked as a strategic scientist for China's Wuhan University of Technology. His arrest and conviction were part of a broader initiative by the U.S. Department of Justice (DOJ) to crack down on foreign espionage in academic institutions. Lieber's case is not an isolated incident. The DOJ has filed at least 20 cases related to espionage involving Chinese nationals working at U.S. universities. This issue has grown even more pressing with the rise of China's Confucius Institutes, which have been established at many U.S. universities under the guise of promoting Chinese culture and language. While some argue that these institutes offer valuable cultural exchange programs, others believe that they serve as fronts for the Chinese government to spread propaganda and extend its influence. Many Confucius institutes have been shut down in recent years after being criticized for promoting ideological indoctrination and espionage. However, some of these programs continue to operate under different names, sparking concerns about their ongoing impact on U.S. academia. China is not the only foreign power investing heavily in U.S. education. Countries like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Hong Kong are also major players in the funding game. In fact, Qatar surpassed China in 2024, investing a record $342.8 million into U.S. universities. Qatar's funding has also raised concerns due to its controversial support for Hamas, a militant group backed by Iran. Harvard and Cornell universities have been among the top recipients of Qatari funding, and there have been reports of increased anti-Semitic rhetoric and violence at these campuses since the 2023 Hamas invasion of Israel. Qatar's actions, including its financial support for Hamas, have caused international tension, and some argue that its investment in U.S. universities could serve as a tool for furthering political agendas. Saudi Arabia, with its $175.3 million investment in U.S. education, and Hong Kong at $81.7 million, round out the list of major foreign investors in U.S. universities. While these investments may appear to be part of a global effort to strengthen academic and cultural exchange, they have sparked debates about national security and academic freedom. Smaller foreign contributions have come from countries like Bahrain, Lebanon, Iraq, Azerbaijan, and Russia, though their financial influence is less significant. The broader trend, however, cannot be ignored. Foreign governments are increasingly funding U.S. educational institutions, raising questions about the long-term impact on academic independence and national security. One of the main concerns is the lack of transparency in how foreign donations are reported. Under the 1965 Higher Education Act here, U.S. universities are required to report any foreign gifts or contracts valued at $250,000 or more every 2 years. However, many universities have failed to comply with this requirement, leading to massive gaps in reporting. A 2020 report by the Department of Education found that only 300 out of 6,000 U.S. institutions properly reported foreign funds, and many of those reports were incomplete or inaccurate. This non-compliance has led to the discovery of over $6.5 billion in previously unreported foreign funding. The lack of proper oversight and accountability opens the door to potential risks, including the theft of intellectual property and corporate espionage. Foreign governments, particularly those with adversarial relations with the U.S., could use financial contributions to gain access to sensitive research and technological advancements. The apt report highlights that the growing influence of foreign governments in U.S. academia poses serious risks to national security and intellectual property rights. Countries like China, Russia, Iran, and Qatar, which have long been considered adversaries of the U.S., have contributed a total of $500 million in funding to U.S. universities in 2020 alone. This foreign involvement in American education is a critical issue that requires immediate attention from lawmakers, university administrators, and national security officials. The question remains, how can U.S. universities protect their academic integrity and national interests while balancing the need for foreign funding? As the amount of foreign capital flowing into U.S. education continues to rise, it is essential that universities take steps to ensure that their relationships with foreign donors do not compromise academic freedom or national security. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe that foreign funding in U.S. universities is a threat to national security? How should U.S. institutions handle foreign donations to prevent foreign influence and protect intellectual property? If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this important issue. Stay tuned for more reports on the evolving relationship between foreign governments and U.S. higher education and what it means for the future of academic independence and security.